Oop, and I need a mic. Hi, Facebook live stream listeners and watchers. We are so happy to have you with us. I'm Paula Shaw, and you are backstage at Change It Up with Paula Shaw Radio. And we're talking today about being and loving the real you. So stick around. This man right here, Davide Di Giorgio, is my first guest. And he is going to be talking about his new book, Being Unapologetic. And in just a little bit, we'll be joined by Dr. J.J. Sawyer and Sandra Davis, who have created an amazing new technology to help you know who you are and how to function better with all the rest of those guys out there. So here we go. Oh, that wasn't the beginning of the show, actually. That was just saying hi to you guys. Now we're going to really start the show, and I'll probably say a lot of that again. Thanks for being with us. All right, here we go.
See ya, Facebook friends.
Yeah, Dave. Oh, you didn't get to say hi. Say hi.
Hey, everybody. Here I am with my amazing friend, Paula Shaw, who this is my second time here being interviewed by
That's
Paula,
right.
so I'm super excited to be back. We're going to get unapologetic, aren't we?
I hope so.
We sure will. All right.
I'm in the mood to be outrageous today.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Okay, here we go. I need glasses for this part. Oops. Welcome to Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. We are so happy to have you here with us today because we have a show jam-packed with great people and great information. We're talking today about loving being the real you. The real you, not the one that's, out there in the business world or the one that you show at church or in school or whatever. The real you. Our guest today, Davide Di Giorgio, who wrote a book called Being Unapologetic. So there's going to be some hot talk here. And Dr. J.J. Sawyer and Sandra Davis, creators of People's Smart World, which is a beautiful technology that helps us get to know not only who we are, but how to deal better with other people. So stick around. We have got a hot show today. We are being brought to you today by Tom Palladino's Scalar Energy Healing Treatment. And I am telling you, this is an amazing technology. Some of you may remember I announced on the show a couple of weeks ago that after getting Tom's treatment, I was tested by Quest Labs, and I no longer have any DNA for herpes 1 because cold sores was an issue in my life since my 20s, and it's gone now. You can get a free trial of Tom's treatment by going to freescalar, SCALAR.com. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Well, you do have stuff to lose, stuff you don't want, those little pathogens and things that are making your life difficult. So, all right, let's talk today about being the real you. First of all, I want to remind any new listeners that Change It Up Radio is about helping people deal with change. It's either spotlighting amazing change makers like we will be doing today, or it's about bringing you information to help make change smoother and more productive in your own life. I'm a life transitions therapist, an author, and a speaker. And most of the time, I am working with people who are dealing with the upheaval of change. And we all know that has its pros and its cons, right? We love change because it keeps things interesting. We don't like it because we get uncomfortable with the unfamiliar, right? We like things to be familiar and comfy. But we need it, and it's going to happen whether we like it or not. So our work here is to help you get more comfortable with change and know better ways of dealing with it. I do that in my work, and I use a lot of the tools of energy psychology and other mind-body tools. I love the latest that's coming out in neuroscience, and I found that using these tools helps people shift more easily and smoothly. So if you'd like to find out more about my work, you can go to paulashaw.com, and as of the time you're hearing this, as of tomorrow, there will be a brand new paulashaw.com bigger and better. Not me, but the website. So please check it out. Yeah, I don't want to get bigger. Better, though, maybe. That would be fun. All right. So let's talk about this whole issue of being our true selves. You'd think it would be easy, right? You're born as yourself. And we've heard we're born happy, joyous, and free. And so many babies are. But then life happens to you, right? Your parents, your teachers, your spiritual guides, your friends, your family, all these people have impact on how you think and how you act out there in the world. Something that may have seemed really cool to you, like stomping your feet when you're angry, now you're told by your parents, go to your room, or that's not acceptable. And suddenly, you're not exactly quite the same as you arrived. What do we do about that? What happens? Because too often, the people that show up in my office are so unhappy with who they have become and what their lives have become. And they want to know, is there a way out? Is there a way to figure out who I am and how do I make my life matter? Lucky for all of you, I have in studio with me today a man who's got some very good ideas about just that. So let me introduce to you Davide Di Giorgio. And David is an international best-selling author, keynote speaker, TEDx speaker. And by the way, I have heard this man speak twice, and he brings the roof down. He is extraordinary. And I say that not just because I love you, but because you truly are.
Thank you.
You exude and exemplify what you teach. So, to go back to your bio, as one of the world's leading speaking experts, and he is, he's worked with thousands of on-purpose speakers, performers, executives, and leaders across multiple industries for over 25 years. He is an award-winning theater producer on top of all that, because he had a little bit of spare time here and there. And he is the founder of Unworld Leaders Network and creator of the Mastermind and Speaker Experience at Sea, which we will definitely want to know more about. So without any further ado, welcome.
Thank you.
Dear friend David.
Thank you, Paul. It's great to be back with you.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. So I forgot to say you are the author of this book, Being Unapologetic. So I love that title, but I remember well the first time you were on my show, talking as a speaking coach, and he said, nobody really cares what you say. Blew me away. I thought that was such a great line. And he said, Google has the inside edge on information, but what matters is who you are. Mm-hmm. And now you've written a book about that very thing. So tell us about being unapologetic.
Gosh, being unapologetic really is my life's work.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spent years trying to figure out, and now I know people are like, oh, but David, you're so young. I'm 42. So I just take really good care of myself. And so I've lived a little bit. I've gone through, the crazy 20s and the more settled 30s. And now in my 40s, I'm really turning a corner and understanding that, gosh, we waste a lot of time. We all of us, we waste a lot of time looking for something that's outside of us. And maybe I didn't read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho enough times, because it's very clear in the book where he talks about, the treasure is right there. It's inside of you, right? And really, I've discovered that to be unapologetic is just to really stand in your own power and to understand, the book starts with the line, life begins with celebration. And one of the lines that you heard me say when I speak is, it's over my dead body, if I have anything to do with it, that you would exit this world without the same standing ovation you arrived with.
Oh, I love that.
And, that's really what it's all about. We arrived as miracles, no matter which way we look at it, whether you believe in the universe or unicorns or God or anything in between, no matter which way we look at it, we're miracles. And so if we're miracles, then, okay, let's live into that truth and be unapologetic about it. Because what I've discovered is the more you take a stand for who you truly are, the more you can manifest miracles and you become more of what you actually want to be.
That authenticity is like magic, isn't it? It's like really standing in your own energy and projecting that full out. I think it does attract amazing, miraculous happenings.
Yeah, and I just want to be clear too, like this book, I don't write this from a place of like, I am the teacher. Oh no, I'm a life student. The reason I called this book Being Unapologetic is because I'm the absolute opposite of that. I've spent my entire life being apologetic about everything, who I am, what I think, what I believe, what I want, apologetic about all of it. This is truly a reminder for me and other people who feel the same way, is like, what becomes possible when you become a little more unapologetic, when you become unmessable, unstoppable, when you're committed to being unforgettable, and a whole bunch of other unwords that we explore in the book.
I love the un thing. And you've even created a foundation that has un in the beginning. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Project Unapologetic. One of the big driving factors behind the book is when I was in high school, I was very severely bullied. And I almost didn't make it. I almost committed suicide when I was in 10th grade.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not good at all. And then I discovered the performing arts. And I got cast in the High School Musical. In my senior year, I actually wrote the musical.
Yes.
So I've done all sorts of crazy stuff with that. And so really the performing arts transformed my life. And so I wanted to give back. Now, for 10 years, I was also a head of a music department in a high school. And so Project Unapologetic, basically what I do is I go into schools. They think I'm doing a confidence workshop. And we spend some time together. And then at the end, they get one more surprise. And that surprise is a check of $5,000 to $10,000. Yes. That is unexpected. And what happens when a stranger comes in and just does this with no expectations, they light up and they become a little bit more confident and unapologetic in what they're doing and who they are.
Oh, David, I watched the video that you have on this. Oh my God. Tears, and that link will be in the show notes on my website, changeitupradio.com. You can get all of the more information about David and this group. But that video, watching those kids and hearing them speak about why they felt unlovable or some of those uns was so moving. That was a fabulous tool.
Thank you.
And I love that you're doing that because we have to give back, don't we? You know, when life gives us opportunities, though we've worked to create them, we want to give back. Mm-hmm. So when we come back from this break, let's talk a little bit more about all of that.
Can't wait.
All right. We'll be right back. Woo! That was right on the mark, 11:30. Well, we're still on Facebook, but they know they're backstage with us and they're watching us. This is it. We get excited in between segments. So let's see. Where do we want to go in segment 2, my friend? Celebration. I loved all that. Oh, the X Factor of Grit. You want to talk a little bit about the speaking thing? Yeah, because you are a TEDx amazing speaker. So we've kind of hit on this. Oh, and then we'll talk about the ocean thing that you're doing, your coaching.
Yeah, we could talk about, because now I'm doing this whole other travel thing that's just sort of like making it more accessible for people.
Oh, cool.
Because the speaker experience at sea is $25,000.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Now we're doing stuff that's like super cheap.
Cool.
Also to make it possible for everyone. So.
And do you want to talk at all about anything else that we haven't hit on with the book?
No, we could just be organic. Let's go with the flow.
All right, darling.
That's good.
So we're going to start then with the X Factor.
Sure.
Speakers.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. Welcome back to Change It Up with Paula Shaw Radio. We are having an amazing show today. We're talking about loving, being the real you. And in studio with me right now is Davide Di Giorgio, author of Being Unapologetic, which is a book that's really all about being the real you. And one of the things I loved about it, David, is you bring in other people's stories too, don't you? Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, when I set out to write this book, I'm obsessed with celebrating other people. Maybe it's the high school music teacher in me, but I wanted to hear from other people what it meant to be unapologetic. And then I went one step further and I asked people, what is your favorite unword? What's your unpersonality? And so we've got 18, from unapologetic to unforgettable to unstoppable, unmessable, unchained, unbroken, so many. And each person of the 18, I call them the unapologetic influencers, shares a little bit about their story and how they relate and how they got over whatever they were working with in their life. And it's just so powerful when you get to shine the spotlight on other people. I learned quite some time ago, whatever you want the most, give that to other people.
Oh, that is such a pearl of wisdom, and it's so true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because when I moved here to San Diego from Toronto, business was hard all of a sudden. I'm like, what's going on? Because I wanted clients and audience and this and that. And then I'm like, let me do an event where the whole point is the audience. Everyone gets to introduce themselves. Everyone gets photos taken. Everyone gets some video. Everyone gets to speak and get feedback from me. It's all about the audience. And slowly I've built an amazing community by shining the spotlight on other people.
Oh, that's so terrific. And there is so much truth in that. You know, just recently, I had an experience myself where I was feeling that I was being let down by a group that I'm part of. And I realized, oh, I'm not doing as much as I could be doing to support them. Maybe I should try that first before I complain that they're not doing enough for me.
Yeah, it's powerful, right?
That's so right on, so right on. So one of the things I know, David, that you do, and you do so extraordinarily well, is you coach speakers. You've created some amazing TEDx speakers. And I know because of the last time we talked and because of our friendship, that you kind of feel like the secret to really being a great speaker is first figuring out who you are and bringing that to the stage, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of, and this isn't about other coaches, but just to put it in perspective, there's a lot of people out there who will sell you a formula, a system, a blueprint of this is what a talk should be. This is what. So here's where I learned this. In musical theater, it's abstract. Lyrics are abstract. And so for 25 years as a musical director, I started to figure out what causes standing ovations and what doesn't. I think we talked about this the last time I was here, right? And it's so interesting because I realized what the X factor actually is someone so confident in their being that even if what they're saying doesn't make sense, people are moved into action.
Yes.
And let's just take a look at from world leaders to religious leaders to all sorts of people in different areas all through history. We can see this over and over again. Why did people follow that person? That's crazy. Yet they were unapologetic in who they are. The X factor truly is who you are. Like I said last time, I'll say it again. Nobody cares the content. Stop trying to deliver value. It's exhausting, right? And like I said, Google has cornered the market on value. So what happens when you all of a sudden deliver vision? Well, this is what happens. The Elon Musks happen. The Walt Disneys happen, right? The world's greatest leaders come out of, because they are unapologetic and obsessed with who they are. And they're obsessed with other people also stepping into their own power. So that truly is what I've discovered over literally the last 25 years of studying performers, presenters, and speakers across multiple industries. The X factor is you. So stop looking for it out there. Stop looking to pay for programs and this and that. Work on the real product, which is you.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you will become unforgettable when you speak, because there's going to be an energy that happens that only happens when you're 100% confident in who you are.
You know, I was at my high school reunion a week ago, and one of the things that it reminded me of was how in high school, we so want to be like everybody else, right? You know, it turns into this big homogenized thing, and we maybe, well, I'm sure even before that, we're losing our uniqueness. But then it's like so important that we just look like everybody else. And so I think you actually have to do some active work to get back to this person you're talking about, this authentic you, because so much of life has kind of pulled that out of us, right?
I went to Catholic school with a uniform. And I'll never forget, I think it was within the first, you have a dress down day once a month.
Mm-hmm.
The first dress down day, grade 9, and I wore my uniform because I missed the memo that there's a dress down day.
Oh, no.
And I, like you said, you do not want to stick out in high school. And especially for me, because it just was not my happy place, at least not the first couple of years of it.
Yes.
And now I look back and realize it was in those moments that I stuck out that caused the greatest successes and biggest celebrations. It's not because I was like everybody else that when I got to my senior year, I was voted by the student population valedictorian.
Really?
So for as much as I was bullied, I also made an impact. And what people told me is because they voted for me because I was everybody's friend. I was the one that didn't have like a clique, or, I mean, we all have cliques in high school, but you know what I mean? Like I navigated across different populations. And I think people really appreciated that because I just wanted to meet as many people as possible in my time there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I noticed it even at the reunion. The people who stood out were the ones who dared to be themselves in high school. Or for some reason they stood out in high school. Either they were the lead in the musical, or they were, I was the head cheerleader, and I dared to do some things that, though I won't say I was as brave as I was totally myself the whole time, because that wouldn't be true. Yeah. But there were moments I ventured into just being the authentic Paula, and that's the part of me that people still remember. That's what was funny, because, after this many years, and I won't say how many, I hardly recognized anybody, though a few people, I'm happy to say, recognized me. But you know that that's more about who you are than
and it's that X factor. People remember how you make them feel, right?
Yes.
Like, to be colloquial about it, right? And so when you do things that are extraordinary, or even I call it everyday extraordinary, it doesn't have to be something crazy, but when you're fully in your being, people remember. People feel, because unfortunately, I believe, it's become almost foreign. Because we're all trying to be something else. We're looking for things outside. And it's like, no, we were fully equipped when we arrived. So how many more invitations do you need? How many more people do you need to tell you you're great at something, you're good at something? You don't need that validation. In the book, I quote the amazing Lisa Nichols. And, Lisa, I love her, right?
She's been on my show.
She's so good. She says, I woke up and liked myself today. Your like is extra. My job is to like me first, right? For all the people we post on Facebook and we wait and we're like, oh, that post didn't do so well because it didn't get that many likes.
Yeah, nobody liked it.
I don't post things for likes.
Yeah.
I post things because I love myself, in fact, right? And I'm obsessed with where I'm going.
That's so
And that's
beautiful.
what it takes, right? Yeah.
So before we run out of time, David, tell us a little bit about this experience out in the world, the travel thing you've put together here now for people.
So we've got a couple different options. We created the Speaker Experience at Sea, and we're super, super proud of it. It gives speakers and leaders an opportunity to speak on 7 continents over the next several years that we're going to be voyaging to on different cruise expeditions. And then because that's a bit of a higher end thing, we also wanted to make travel accessible to everyone. So we started this thing called the Travel Lovers Tribe. And basically, so people always want to pick my brain. And I'm like, nope, can't pick my brain. Unless you're on vacation with me, then you can pick my brain, and that's no problem. So we have a number of trips coming up. We have a cruise. We have a Puerto Vallarta trip coming up that are dirt cheap. I mean, super, super affordable prices. And we're just inviting everybody along with us. If you want to come and mastermind with me and my friends, come along. There's no upcharge to it at all. It is just, I believe so much that people need to change their environment to get a new perspective sometimes.
So true.
And then hang out. Let's talk about it. Let's talk. What do you want? Do you want to talk about speaking, about business, whatever it is? Let's talk about it as we're enjoying the beach, as we're enjoying excursions somewhere.
Oh my God, that sounds like a dream opportunity. I'm signing up immediately. And where would I do that? How do people find you?
Yeah, travelloverstribe.com is for travel.
Travelloverstribe.com.
Yeah, and for the rest of me and everything else, it's super easy, davidspeaks.com. And that's David with an E, because I got a bonus vowel. davidspeaks.com.
And he actually is Davide Di Giorgio, for any of you who are just joining us. And you can find him at davidspeaks.com, or travelloverstribe.com, right?
That's it. You got it.
David, you are doing such amazing things for people out in the world. And I love this work you're doing with the kids. And if people want to find out more about that, is there some other place to go?
All of that is connected at davidspeaks.com. I try to keep it simple for everybody since I'm doing a lot of stuff, kind of like you are too. Yeah. We all have multiple parts of our lives. But yeah, it's all
we do. And on that note, he's launching his book officially tomorrow night. And for those of you who don't yet have a copy of Being Unapologetic, run, don't walk to your computer and order it on Amazon immediately. Right?
Yeah, you have to run because the first print run is actually almost sold out.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
That is exciting news. David,
Sure
I
is.
love you, and thank you for blessing me today with your presence on my show.
Thank you for the blessings, Paula.
All right. And we'll be right back with People's Smart World, Dr. Janet Sawyer and Sandra Davis. All right. We did it. Okay, Facebook people, we're going to do a little shifting now because David will be leaving us, but wasn't he amazing? Oh, honey, that was so great. Oh. All right, we're going to have some dinner soon.
Yes,
Yeah, and I'm not
absolutely.
kidding. I want to look at these trips because I'd rather pick your brain on a beach than in some seedy cafe. Oh, and we have a show coming up downtown again. I can't remember which one it is, but it's in November, I think, early. Okay, so ladies. All right. Oh, did you say goodbye to your people? Oh, I guess you. We'll be right back, guys. We're just getting set up here. We need one of those chairs, that burgundy chair, to come over with you guys. Oh, no, that's perfect. I would love that. I started reading it online. I was so disappointed when I got to the end. I love the way you did it. It's so you. All right. Sandra, huh? Yes. We will be starting in just a moment with Dr. J.J. Sawyer and Sandra Davis, who are going to be joining me any second now. We need a chair to come over with you guys too. Oh, and you know what? Is Todd around here somewhere? I want to make sure that they'll be able to see all three of us. All right, darling. Yeah, I know where to find you. Oh, I want one of those. Oh, we need that other chair to come over too.
David with an I.
With an E.
He's not going to stay and listen to us.
He's got that launch party.
Well, then this is what I want you to do. You listen to me.
Oh, yeah, you could turn your Facebook on as you're driving even. Oh, perfect. I love it. That'd be great. All right. I can be on the. Well, let's see what colors people are. Well, you two will probably be all right. I don't. Yeah, better that than this. I think she's in orange. That'd be too. You would be okay on here. That's perfect. Let's do that. Can you see all? Oh, and you guys have one of your folders you want to put on here?
We have this, but I don't think it will fit. It will do it.
Sure, it will. Oh,
You won't stand up.
yes, it will.
Oh, good. And I'll show this whenever it comes.
I love that bag. I want one of those. Really?
Would you
my gosh.
prefer
Hey,
a
would you give Heath
smaller-
a big kiss and a hug for me?
JJ,
Yeah, I really want to do that. All right.
bring a small bottle.
Love you. You know your way out of here, right? Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm going to need more water, too, actually. You know what, guys? I'm going to run and get more water. Does anybody else need more water?
No.
All right. We'll be right back. Oh, can you see us all now? Okay, kids. Be right back. Guys, don't worry about your answers.
No,
Mm-hmm.
we have a discount voucher, JJ100. It can be used at any of our products in our online shop at Give a Smart World. And if you come to our homepage, leave your details and send them to us with a contact. Oh, perfect.
Okay, you guys want to talk into your mics? You first, Jay. Yeah, bring it right down there.
Hello, hello.
Count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
All right,
10.
you're good. Okay, Sandra? Oh, do you want to do Sandra? Okay, go
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
ahead. Okay, thank you, honey. Oh, and we're all in the picture. Can our Facebook people see everybody?
Jay's blocked behind that one. Can you scoot can you scoot to your left a little, and Jay, can you scoot to your left a little?
And I
So
can
you're,
scoot.
in between there. There you go. And then bring your mic over. Let's see if we can get your face there. Perfect.
Is that right? Is that good?
Ah,
There we go.
yay!
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let me stop that. Okay, thank you for giving us a moment there to reorganize Facebook audience. And here we are with Sandra Davis. And do you want to be JJ or Dr. Janet? Dr. JJ?
Call me JJ.
JJ, all right. And Dr. JJ Sawyer. Can I introduce you as doctor?
Oh, sure you can.
Okay. All righty. Let me get myself together here. Find my glasses.
Well, I really enjoyed David.
Oh, me
I told you you
too.
would. I told you.
He's
He
amazing.
was wonderful.
And it's like I've known him forever.
I know. That's how I felt about him when I first met him, too.
Yeah.
He's just the most, because he's so authentic, right?
He
You
is.
just easily just melt right into who he is.
He is. I just can't wait to read his book.
Yeah. Oh, and it's fun. It is definitely fun. All righty. Here we go, ladies. Oh. Welcome back to Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. We are excited to have you with us today. We're talking about loving being the real you. Figuring out who that is a big part of that. And my guests in this segment have developed a technology that helps people understand who they really are and who others are, and then teaches them how to best communicate with others to have the best results. Correct, ladies?
That's right.
That's right.
All right. So let me introduce these two lovely ladies. In studio with me right now, Sandra Davis, who is an expert facilitator, a coach, instructional design and curriculum developer, and a consultant from New Zealand. She works there and around the world. She's also the co-founder and CEO of People Smart Enterprises, the co-creator of People Smart Disc interpretation method, and the Discovering Me program. This is a busy woman, folks. She's passionate about empowering people to lead happy and enriched lives, and is committed to designing tools and resources that support others to become people literate. I love that term. I'm going to be asking her more about that. Also with me is Dr. J.J. Sawyer. She's a very experienced educator, a leadership expert, a coach, and a People Smart Enterprises licensee. And she's certified in the People Smart Disc interpretation method, which we're going to be learning about in just a few moments. These two women have worked together and created something really special. And I think, without any further ado, I'd like to just ask them to tell us about what did you create, because I have the understanding that it involves birds. And I'm not sure how birds help us understand who we are as people. So, somebody's got some splaining to do.
Would you like me to start?
Oh, definitely. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to take the ball. Well, birds is a fabulous way to discover who you are. And it all happened about 5 years ago when I was working with a very small school in rural New Zealand. And, you know, firstly, I would just want to say hello in Maori to all our listeners.
Oh, do.
And it's kia ora koutou whānau. And that is a hello family, because we are a human family.
Yes, we are.
And what David said, you know, it's like dare to be you. So I was at the small rural school and I was doing some management training with the staff. And the deputy principal, I was training in the DISC, People Smart Interpretation Method. And
Could you say that again a little bit more slowly?
Okay, it is the People Smart Disc Interpretation Method.
Okay.
Okay? So the deputy principal said, Sandra, do you think we could teach this to the kids? And I went, sure. I didn't know how, but I said, between you and I, we'll work something out.
Right.
And anyway, I created these 2 lessons, teaching them all about their disc personality style. I taught them about character virtues, which are these human qualities, as David said, the what we bring when we are here. And they loved it.
So for just a second, Sandra, for any of our listeners who don't know about DISC, what do the letters DISC stand for?
Okay, so it's an acronym for D is for dominance,
Okay, dominance.
I is for influence,
Okay.
S is for steadiness, and C is for compliance.
And these are descriptive words that describe different kinds of personalities, correct?
Well, we all have the DISC within us. However, we do have a favorite primary style, either D, I, S, or C,
Got it.
where we feel the most comfortable.
Okay.
And it's observable behavior only. It is not psychological.
Okay.
That's why it's so easy to use.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is why these children were from the ages of 10 to 13, and that's why they fell in love, because they found out who they were and that they're okay.
Yeah.
Just the way they
Just
are.
the way they are.
Yeah.
The theme of our day today, right?
Yes, yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Be yourself, because everyone else is taken.
It's a great line, and I'm just thinking, Dr. JJ, I'll bet you when you were a principal, which you were for many years, life would have been a lot easier if the students would have had this kind of a tool so that they wouldn't think other people that weren't like them were weird or strange or any of that. Because I think when you understand that everybody's different, you can come together more easily, right?
Oh, yes, especially middle school, because I was a middle school principal.
Mm-hmm.
I had 1,600 of them, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And that's the time where they're trying to discover who they are. And so this kind of tool would have been just perfect, especially when we turned it into the birds and not the DISC. They would start to really, really understand it. Because when you teach, it's got to come from the heart, and then you can intellectually understand it. And so that's when I was able to get with Sandra, because she had created this program for students and become discovering me and you.
So tell us, how do the birds tie in?
Well, what we did is we took the D, and that stands for dominance. But when you say results-oriented, bottom line, someone that's direct, what bird comes to mind? And that's an eagle. You know, those eagles fly high and then come down, swoop down, and fly back up. They oversee, they look at the bigger picture. And so someone might forget D, but they won't forget eagle.
Right. Especially not a child.
Not a child. And
Born
what we
a child.
found is we are all children. It doesn't matter how old we are. And so what we did is we created this tool to work with students at about 13, some of them 10, to all the way to 90 years old.
Wow.
And so let's go with the I. The I, you know, optimistic, real talkative, social. What bird comes to mind?
It's a parrot. Can't you see the parrots going around and moving around? And then we went to the S, which is supportive. But when you think about it, these are relationship people. They like everybody to come together.
It's all about love. I'm a high S. It's all about love.
It's dove. It's a dove. D-O-V-E, a dove. Have you ever seen doves by themselves? No. They always like to bring things together.
Snuggling with another dove.
And of course, you can tell I'm a high parrot, and then I'm connected to a dove. And so we really balance each other off. She just tells me when to stop talking, and then she really listens and makes sure everybody feels loved. And then, of course, the C. And those are conscientious. Those are owls. Who, what, when, where.
Why?
Why? Analytical. They always questioning things. And so when you have these 4 birds, now people don't forget the D-I-S-C. The reason why I say that's important is because if you forget, you will not change your behavior. You will not find out who you are and start to love who you are. But you'll never forget the birds.
That's true. That's really true. I think, I remember when I was a kid, my dad would teach us to remember things by what they call pegs. Like you would attach it to something. I still remember the capital of Michigan because my dad would say, Mitch and Lansing. So I remembered Lansing was the capital of Michigan. So what you guys have done, I think, is created this sort of amazing peg system because we all can relate to birds and we all can relate to those characteristics. So tell me this. If I know, because I'm thinking I'm probably a parrot myself, if I know I'm a parrot, how does that help me deal with an eagle who I might find a little what's the word I want? When they're kind of brusque or, I can't think of the word. I'm blanking out. But, not real engaging.
Well, more dominant.
Yes.
They dominate.
Right. It's the fastest way from A to B, cut to the bottom line, those kind of people. So if I'm dealing with somebody like that, how does it help me to know I'm a parrot and he's an eagle?
Well, I think what you also have to realize is the DISC have different life focuses. So the D focuses on big picture and they're problem solvers and they're always looking for possibility, okay? And they achieve that through task, not people. Where the I, their life focus is people.
And they're the parrots.
They're the parrots.
Okay.
They focus on people to get things done.
Right.
And then the S, their life focus is steadiness of the pace of the environment. So they're very systematic.
And that's the owls?
No, that's the dove.
The dove.
The dove.
Okay.
And then the owls, their life focus is they like to focus on procedure. Task. So the I and the S are people, the D and the C are task. So what would help you, to answer your question, is what situation are you in with this eagle? What are the results you want to achieve with this person together? And then you look at taking care of their need. With the D, you ask them lots of questions because they like to be in control.
I see.
You hand the ball to them.
And one of the pieces I see, we have to go to a break, but when I come back, I want to say I just got an insight about this that I think is really powerful. So when we come back from the break, let's talk about that. We will be right back. Oh, you guys are great.
Gosh, those breaks come around quickly,
They
don't
do.
they?
They do.
Wow.
All right, so what I want to talk about is what I just had the insight I saw of also. Well, I don't want to give it away for the Facebook people, so we'll just come back and talk about it,
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. Anything else in particular that you guys really want to be sure we hit on? And let's remember website and how to do it.
I'd really like to also talk about how to adapt your style.
Okay.
Because you are not your style. You are not just your style.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Then we'll go into that.
Yeah,
next.
and that's what David talked about. He talked about, I want to start to talk about the human qualities or character virtues.
Okay.
And you use those for adapting.
Okay, and remember, this segment we need to end, or we need to be kind of done by 10:30. I mean 10 minutes 30, because I have to do the wrap up.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you just.
You
Yeah.
guide it.
All right.
And we'll know.
All right, guys. Just wanted to. I didn't want you to think I was being rude.
No.
What
Because I got a dove working here too.
And what I might do is talk about each of the DISCs have character, virtue, strength.
Just don't forget to keep relating those letters to the birds.
Right. I wouldn't go too far with the virtues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that will take them to a different thinking.
Okay.
Also, I think it's important that we mention we have all of these 4 birds
I
in
have
us.
said that, yeah.
But we call on them. We have to
Yes.
raise them. So I think that's important.
Yeah, there are different levels of dominance within us. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll make that point. And we want to be sure that we have plenty of time to give them information about how to get a hold of you, how to take the tests and stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so unfortunately we can't go into too much depth,
Okay.
but another day.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Okay.
All right. Welcome back to Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. We are talking today about loving being you and figuring out who you really are. And in this segment in studio with me, back from last segment, are Dr. J.J. Sawyer and Sandra Davis, who've created a technology called People Smart World. We were talking in the last segment about how we all have within us 4 different types, and they relate to 4 different birds. And I had this, and those birds being eagle, parrot, dove, and owl. And one of the things that hit me, because we were talking about in the last segment, Sandra, how you can, once you understand yourself, then you can learn, like if you're working with an eagle, ask a lot of questions because they want to dominate, they oversee. But the other piece that hit me was learning what you all are teaching helps us all, I think, to become more tolerant of each other, because everybody doesn't have to be a certain way. You can see how we really need these different types of people in the world to get stuff done, right? Because if it was just us parrots, we'd be chatting up a storm and having a lot of fun.
Yes.
But we need the eagles and the owls probably to really get those tasks completed. So I love what you're teaching us. And I believe, Dr. Sawyer, you were saying that everybody has all 4 birds, right?
Yes. We all have all 4. It depends on the energy you're putting in each one. So, I might be a parrot. My high priority is a parrot and how I show up. But I have a lot of eagle in me. And then I also have a lot of dove and owl, very low owl in me. So we have all 4. Once you learn how your birds fly, then you'll start to recognize the bird that flies in front of you, what do you call it? Primary bird that flies in front of you. And then you'll be able to call on that bird within you to be able to communicate effectively. Sandra, do you have anything to add to that?
Absolutely. And also remember, we are all of the 4, and we also have these, what I call character, virtue, strengths, and I'm not going to go into detail about them, but the D is naturally very assertive. The I is all naturally very friendly, and the S naturally is trusting and loyal, and the C is naturally comes with integrity. These are all character.
And again, the D is an eagle, the I is the parrot, the S is the dove, and the C is the owl.
Yes.
Got it. So understanding that we all have, and the other thing that occurred to me, let me see if I get this right. In different circumstances, would different birds become more strong? Like if I need to have my eagle be there, can I get that eagle to fly?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I even have an example of someone that is very much a parrot and has a lower energy in the eagle. But they were dealing with a publishing company, and they didn't like the 3 choices that the publishing company gave them. And this parrot called on the eagle and said, no, that's not good enough. Now, normally a parrot doesn't raise their eagle up like that on a daily basis, but in that moment in time, they were dealing with an eagle, and they needed to call on the eagle within them. And so this person was able to say, no, that's not going to work for
I
me.
love that. And you've created learning materials in this technology that help people to learn how to do that better, correct?
Yes.
Absolutely. We've created some fabulous products that people can download, PDF books. And we've also got assessments. We've got a beautiful Birds Discovering Me online assessment that has exercises in it, wonderful for homeschooling parents.
Oh, wow. That'd be fabulous.
And we've got Discovering Me and You, Creating a Culture of Kindness and Peace. It has some fabulous exercises in it. That includes DISC as well with the 4 birds. So if you would like to visit us at peoplesmartworld.com, we can always...
Say it again.
Oh, sorry, my darling. peoplesmartworld.com. You'll find our online shop there. Yeah.
Beautiful. peoplesmartworld.com. So what's step 1, ladies? Do people go to peoplesmartworld.com and take an assessment? Is that step 1?
Well, what they can do is we've got a discount voucher, JJ100, that they can use to get a discount.
Oh.
And if
JJ100. So it's a code they would put in.
that's correct.
JJ100.
When they're checking out at the online shop.
Oh.
So what they would do is they would purchase, and then we would send them their own private assessment link. Okay?
Oh, I see.
So, and then we would be engaging in a conversation with these people.
And then what happens? So let's say it's me. I take the test, and then do I get my results in an email or something, or do I get a call with you? What happens?
Well, you as soon as you submit the hit button after you've finished the assessment, your online assessment is sent to you through your email, and then you can also book an online debrief call with JJ. We do it through a webinar, which is absolutely, I highly recommend you do that.
Oh, yes, because I'm sure you get much more in-depth in that kind of a call.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can tell JJ about your particular situation, and she can give you guidance
absolutely
specific to you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing I like about this tool is they are exercises. So I'm going to emphasize the reason why there are exercises throughout the tool. And what I mean by that is you're going to read so many pages, and then you're going to go back and answer some questions, because the teacher of me, I'm 45 years in education, and I'm about people doing the work. Because when you start to work through those exercises, you will start to become much more aware of who you are. And you'll be asked certain questions. How will you adapt? So it'll tell you exactly steps on how to work with an eagle or a parrot or a dove or an owl. And then the debrief, when you actually talk through a process, that's when it really gets deeper within you. So the tool is, you can also go online on discoveringme.net and just scroll down the bottom until you see the tool.
Oh, do you want
That picture. So you see the picture. You'll see this picture right here. And when you go down, you can even preview the assessment before you take it. But I like the way it comes to you right now.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and not only are we a society that loves instant gratification, but, in the moment that you've got the time and you're doing that, I think that is really cool that it comes to you right now. And then you can schedule the more in-depth look, right?
Absolutely. And there's more.
Oh, and what is that?
If you come to the homepage of People Smart World and leave your contact details, we will send you a free ebook. And that is all about 50 ways for dealing with conflict.
Oh,
in
I
a
want
healthy
that
way.
Immediately.
In a healthy way, with the DIS of the 4 bird styles.
Oh, beautiful. Would you say the name of that again? 50 ways for dealing?
For effectively dealing with conflict.
Oh, who doesn't need that?
And
Even if you're at home with your kids, you need that.
Absolutely. Conflict is healthy. It's just how we deal with it that is not.
Yes. Part of what I'm getting and what I'm learning from you too is probably a lot of the time we shouldn't take things so personally, because it's just the dove being the dove, right? Or the eagle being the eagle. And we think it's about us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And once you take, it's a little bit like, once you focus out there and focus on the other person's need, taking care of their bird, then they do the same with you. What a beautiful world it would be.
Absolutely.
That's right.
That reminds me of something David said, where he said, whatever I want, I give that to somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, it's so interesting. I had a process that I do with clients that comes exactly down to that. Whatever you think about, you get really clear on what it is you want and what you want to experience, whether it's in a relationship, in a job, or whatever, and then you give that to the other person. And it's magical how then it becomes attracted to you.
Absolutely. And then your relationships they become harmonious.
Yes.
You know, there's conflict. I mean, we're human. You know, my husband drives me crazy sometimes. He's a parrot. You know, with 32 years, we've worked each other out. And I love him. He's my treasure. His name's Trevor.
Trevor the treasure.
Yes.
Trevor the treasure.
Yeah. So, you know, it's about taking the focus off me, but starting with me first. Start with me, self-awareness, and it's the self-awareness of myself and others.
Yes.
Which is the people literacy.
So being self-aware, I know I've heard Dr. JJ say that many times. That's a key, an important key to life. Be self-aware and then other-aware. But with this technology you've developed, now you have tools for dealing with others effectively. I love this, ladies, and I am so delighted that you were with me today. It was a true impactful, important learning experience. This is really a beautiful thing you've created for all of us. So thank you.
Well, thanks for having us.
And to our listeners, I'd also like to say thank you for being with us in this amazing show that we had today. You can hear us here in San Diego on AM 1170 The Answer or 96.1 FM on Sunday evenings at 9 o'clock. We are also on every major podcast platform, on iHeartRadio. And you know what? If you can't remember any of this, you can find us by either asking Siri or Alexa to play Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. We are so glad you were with us today. It was a beautiful, important show. And thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Ladies, you are amazing. Facebook live stream listeners, thank you for being with me and these two amazing ladies. Would you guys like to say anything to our Facebook listeners before we stop the live stream? Into here?
Okay. I do. I just want to invite you to be yourself because everyone else is taken.
Beautiful. And JJ?
And thank you so much. Any questions you might have, please go to the site, discoveryme.net or People Smart World, and request a conversation. We do complimentary conversations, and we answer as many questions that you have.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Mwah.
Thank you,
you,
Paula.
ladies.
Thank you.
See you next week.